CTV Calgary, local breaking news.
Good afternoon. 2 pedestrians were injured after getting hit by a minivan this morning in the Northwest. It happened around 8:30 this morning at the intersection of Dalhousie Drive and Dalgleish Road. Police say a youth and an adult were injured. The fire department says both were trapped under the minivan, and the vehicle had to be lifted to free the patients. They were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Those who live in the area say this is a dangerous intersection.
I didn't notice whether the lights were on or not, but the sun was very bright and difficult to see.
Especially right here, there's so many times where I've seen, even with when people press the lights for the flashing lights for their crossing, people, even though this is a 30 zone, people are whipping fast all the time.
The driver remained at the scene. Police continue to investigate. Police are looking for an immigration detainee who escaped from the Rocky View Hospital. Jagdeep Singh is currently under investigation by the Canada Border Services Agency. They suspect he's involved in organized crime. Police say Singh was at the Rocky View for a medical assessment when he escaped last night. Anyone who recognizes Singh should call 911. Calgary students are walking out of class to protest Alberta's legislation on transgender children.
I'm just super grateful that all of you guys are here.
Students from Westmount Charter School walked out this morning to show their opposition to Bill 9. The UCP is using the notwithstanding clause to pass the bill, which prevents kids from changing their pronouns at school, among other measures. The students wanted to have their voices heard.
We just want other people in the school, we want people in the community to be aware that this is an issue and to encourage them to stand up for us. It's to unite as a community and stand for our trans peers. And yeah, it's just protests. We're tired of sitting down and watching the government trample our rights.
Today is also the Trans Day of Remembrance, a day to commemorate trans people who have died by violence. Alberta Health Services has invited the AUPE back to the bargaining table. The union representing nursing care staff say they were invited back to mediation after issuing strike notice. The AUPE says it hopes to reach an agreement, but if that doesn't happen, the strike is still set to start on Saturday. If a walkout happens, it will be rotating strikes with about 3,200 workers off the job at any one time. Some elective surgeries have already been canceled. Alberta's Auditor General says the province's privatization of community lab services left taxpayers on the hook for more than $100 million. It also led to major delays for patients and lab work errors. Mark Villani has the details.
Patients are piling into this Calgary medical lab, and to some surprise, their appointments were on time.
It's gotten better in my opinion. It was supposed to be like a 20-minute, half-hour wait. I waited for like 4 minutes.
And it looks busy there, but it's quick.
But there was a time when it wasn't.
It was super slow. For urine and blood tests, I could be in there for 3 hours sometimes.
A new report from Alberta's Auditor General says those delays stem from the signing of a 15-year, $4.8 billion contract for Dynalife to take over lab services in the province.
They went through this whole exercise, spent the money, and they didn't achieve what they wanted to.
Dynalife was contracted out for lab services in Edmonton and northern Alberta for years prior, but it took over for all of Alberta in December 2022. Just 2 weeks before that deal went into effect, the company went insolvent. 8 months later, the deal was terminated. That led to the province purchasing Dynalife, the centerpiece in taxpayer losses of $125 million over a 10-year period for government-initiated lab procurements.
Neither the department or Alberta Health Services followed their own procurement practices.
Wiley's report also notes that basic financial checks weren't done.
There was limited records of that were kept of important decisions that were made and discussions between Alberta Health Services Executive and the Department of Health.
Alberta's health minister clapped back, saying her department took immediate action. That's why in June 2023, we directed that the agreement with Dynalife be terminated and shifted services to Alberta Precision Labs, which has resulted in significant improvements to wait times across the province.
These folks are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And these aren't nurses and surgeons and doctors. These are managers. Why didn't they manage this better?
Danielle Smith and the UCP wanted to move forward full speed ahead on privatization. They didn't do their research. They didn't have good records at the meetings that they had, and the buck stops with them.
Wiley now recommends better procurement practices and clear record keeping.
And ensuring that the money is being spent wisely.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
AHS has not yet commented, but the province says it fully cooperated with the investigation, and any suggestion to the contrary would be incorrect. An Alberta rancher and musician has filed a new application for a citizens' initiative petition. Corb Lund says he's been fighting for 5 years to stop coal mining on the eastern slopes of the Rockies.
I'm not partisan. I don't have any affiliation or affection for any of the parties. This has nothing to do with anything at all political, except for not ruining the water in the mountains for all Albertans. And I also have been clear about saying I'm not anti-resource. I understand we need resources, but it doesn't mean that every project is a good idea. And these coal mines in the headwaters of rivers are a terrible idea.
The Grassy Mountain Coal Exploration Project was initially rejected in 2021 over environmental concerns. But Alberta's energy regulator reapproved the exploration near the Crow's Nest Pass earlier this year. Lund's petition still has to be approved by Elections Alberta. Downtown redevelopment is advancing with more building conversion projects. 9 new office conversions were announced this morning. There are already 6 conversions completed under the incentive program. Those have brought 226 new hotel rooms and 490 new homes to downtown. That includes 170 below market and affordable units. The mayor says it's been a good investment for the city.
We are nearly halfway there. The numbers tell a clear story. The city has invested nearly $200 million, and that investment has already generated more than $800 million in private sector capital, a return of $4 private dollars for every public dollar, and an estimated $7 in total economic impact.
With these new projects, the Downtown Calgary Development Incentive is now supporting a total of 21 office conversions that will transform over 2.6 million square feet of office space. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnews.ca/Calgary.